Cesar Ruiz, welcome to the Victory League podcast. How are you doing, my man?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great.
Well, first of all, thanks so much for coming on. Really excited to dive into a little bit of your journey, your background, how you got into football, how you ended up at the University of Michigan, and then eventually in the NFL. We were joking around a little bit before we started recording about your golf game, so we'll
Yeah.
dig into how to see how that's chugging along. But first, I have to ask. Um, Everyone has their own origin story. Every superhero has their own origin story. So I'm curious, for you, how did you come across football? How did you get into it?
Yeah, so I always loved like playing football in the backyard with my friends. So I was doing that, all the way up until I was 10 years old. And I just loved playing. I never played organized football. I just was always in the backyard, playing football. My mom always had me signed up for like baseball and, stuff like that. I didn't, baseball was whatever. Um, but one random day, my mom was like, "Hey, you want to play football?" I was like, "Absolutely. I absolutely do." And I didn't think I was gonna play O line. I thought I was gonna play running back like I did in the backyard with my friends. So I yeah, I found out football. My mom one random day in the summer, I was 10 years old. My mom was like, "Yo, like, wanna play football?" I said, "Absolutely." And she took me to play ball. Signed me up that day, and I've been locked in ever since.
It's funny too because you mentioned growing up you wanted to play running back or wide receiver. I feel like those positions, maybe even like quarterback, or it's like that's what everyone wants to be. Everyone wants to be like the flashy wide receiver making the one-handed catches, or the quarterback who's throwing deep bombs. But to your point, very rarely do kids grow up and they're like, you know what I really want to do? I really want to be an offensive lineman. So how did you like? What was that transition like? When did you discover that O line was the position for you?
When my coach told me I wasn't playing. And the first day there, he's like, "Nah, you're not gonna play running." It's funny. I had to play center. Kids hated it, and nobody want. I played center and defensive tackle, but no one wanted to play center. Like, nobody wants to play center. Like, da, da. So I was like, I just want to play football. I don't really care. So I played center, and I'm playing center. So I was playing center like 10 years old, all the way up till I got to the NFL.
You grew up in Camden, New Jersey, which wouldn't say is necessarily considered, a hotbed for NFL talent. Or maybe it is, and I'm just not aware. But naturally, I think of like California, Texas, Florida, like those seem to be the states where the most NFL talent comes out of. Just growing up in New Jersey, did that have any impact on, your eventual NFL career, or kind of your love for football?
Yeah, I think not only just like being in New Jersey, I think this what really helped my love for football grow was that I had something to get me out of the house. I think I give I give my environment and like where I grew up a ton of credit because I had a bunch of people around me that supported me. I had a bunch of people I looked up to because when you start something new as a kid, you want to be around that. You want to be influenced by the guys that are doing that. So I would go watch the older guys. I would go high school games. I would sit on my YouTube and look up highlights from everybody around. So I was just influenced by so many people around there that I was like, hey, these guys are really good. Man, I want to be really good like them too. But when I was young, I wasn't thinking like, oh, I'm gonna do everything I'm doing now is gonna get me to the NFL. I was like, hey, I just want to be really good at football and I want to have fun playing football.
Yeah, it's interesting because I've talked to other athletes, and everyone kind of has the same mindset when they start out playing the sport that they eventually will play for a living. It's like, hey, I just tried it out because it was fun. It was fun to me. I didn't take it. I took it seriously, but I wasn't like I didn't have my sights set on the NFL. I mean, some players certainly do from a young age, but I'd say a majority of athletes are just like, all right, let me try this out, see what happens, see where it takes me. And it's interesting because I feel like it's a good life lesson too to sometimes not take things too seriously. Sometimes we take ourselves too seriously, and we're like, I have to be the best, or I have to be, whatever. I really like that mindset of kind of just, trying it out, having fun, and if it clicks, it clicks, and if it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever I'm helping out with a football camp, or if I'm talking to any young kids that want to ask about football or have any advice or anything, I always tell them enjoy the game. You're like enjoy the game for what it is. Like enjoy having fun playing football. Don't if you're 12, don't make it your enjoy the game. Because my mindset is I got to enjoy the game when I was young, and now I still enjoy the game, but Now the game isn't just, oh, I get dropped off at practice. The game is your life now. The game becomes a lot more serious. So when the game is a little more, fun and laid back as a kid, enjoy that moment because it's still fun as an adult, but it's going to get a lot more serious.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question. Is like when you transitioned into the NFL, to your point, now the game becomes your life, and it's how you make money, it's how you sustain yourself and your family. So obviously, there's an added pressure on top of the pressure of I'm sure that you feel on the inside of like I want to make Caesar happy with the way that I play today. So you have like your internal and then your external pressure. How do you find that balance of like still telling yourself to like? Do you have to tell yourself to go have fun, or do you like how do you deal with that pressure?
Oh, like right now?
Right. Yeah.
Oh no, right now I just go out there. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go have fun. Like football is fun. Like I legit just have fun doing it. So, and I'm very blessed that I get to, my job and my career is extremely fun for me. So when I go out there, a lot of times, you can get, you'll have your jitters, you'll have, some nerves or a little anxiety. But truly, like that was really big in the beginning of my career, and then I just flipped the switch like after my third season. And I just keep telling myself like, hey man, like just go have fun, like go play ball, like don't think too much into this, like literally you like because I study, you do everything, you study, you watch the film, hey, you put the work in, now go have fun because the second you stop having fun, the game becomes a lot harder. When it's fun, football is easier.
You said you flipped the switch, but I'm assuming that in order to flip the switch, it seems like it took years of work, mental work to get you in a position to be able to say, stop worrying, just go have fun. And the reason I want to ask this next question is because I think a lot of people struggle with flipping the switch with whatever they're doing in life. Listen, like you're a football player, but someone out there might be, a financial analyst at some company and they struggle with taking themselves too seriously. Or maybe someone out there is, maybe they play in the NBA and they struggle with the same thing. So like what would your advice be to people looking to flip that switch and just relax and be able to perform with a relaxed mindset?
I think well I can tell you how I figured it out. I was the work for so what my situation was I came to the NFL, played a new position, learning how to play this new position, and I wasn't performing at a high level at this position yet. I wasn't showing like for myself. I didn't feel like I was playing to the standard I wanted to play to, and I had to reflect going into my third year. I was like, I had to figure this out because I do love football, but right now it's becoming really hard because now I'm overthinking. Like it's a lot going on in my brain, and then I literally just I had a moment where I just would tell myself like, bro, just go play ball. Like it was just like stop thinking so much, stop stop making things complicated. Just go play ball. Like there was never a doubt in my mind if I was good enough. There was never a doubt in my mind if I was capable. I always knew I was capable. I just told myself, just go. Like just go play ball. And ever since then, I've been having time of my life. Like I've been having a great time playing ball. Like, it's just not you don't have all those thoughts and everything, those nerves so much. Like you still get a little nerves, but like now I'm just able just to embrace the moment. Like I did when I was a kid. Like when I go out on game day, it's like, all right, I'm feeling it. Like I'm excited. Like when I was a kid, we go play football. So
How would you compare your confidence level to those first couple years in the league versus where it's at now?
it's funny because because my first couple years in the league, I was confident. I was confident. It was just I always had like self confidence, like, hey, I'm gonna figure this out. Um, but it was just like I was like, oh, it's not like really coming together yet. Like, what am I doing? And I was overthinking a lot. So now that I know like that overthinking thing is kind of gone, my confidence level is just it's been up here, for a few years now. It's just I feel like you benefit nothing from not being confident. You don't benefit at all from not being confident. I think you gain everything when you are confident and you just are. You can tell yourself and you can even if you have to, you can convince yourself that hey, I'm confident. able to do this. I feel like I'm the type of person. I feel like there's power in what you say. You know, like the more and more you tell yourself, like, "Yo, I'm the man. I'm a dog. I'm the best." That you're gonna believe that in those moments. In those moments that you once were, "Oh man, I'm nervous." You've been telling yourself you're the best for the past 3 years. So you gonna go out there and perform and believe that you're the best. So I think that's what it is. I just speak positivity. I speak what I want. I speak that things I want to happen consistently. And that's kind of what I just keep telling myself.
That reminds me of a quote from Alex Ramosi, who's this entrepreneur, online creator. And he says, you know, if it's easy for you to have a bad day, then it should be just as easy for you to have a good day. And if you can easily choose to have a bad day or be in a bad mood, then why don't you just choose the opposite and be in a good mood? And I kind of relate that to what you were saying with you were choosing to be confident. Like you were telling yourself positive words of affirmation and all of these things. Whereas very easily on the flip side, you could have been like, I suck, I'm terrible, I'm not good. And that would have further impacted your performance. And I get we're kind of dumbing it down, right? It is difficult, like it's not easy. But I think through practice and through what you were saying, eventually you get to the point where you start believing some of those things. And I don't know, that just really stuck out to me because sometimes, like if I'm in a bad mood, I'm like, why am I in a bad mood? Like I could just as easily be in a good mood. Like look at all the the sun is shining, birds are out chirping, life is good. Um, so yeah, it's that mindset switch I think can unlock a lot for a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. Like that's why, like what you just said, like just telling yourself, like you can have a, just having, I really think it's easier to have a good day than a bad day because there's good things happening. There's good things happening 24/7. But just what do you view as good? Like me, I wake up, I'm happy. My feet are touching the ground because I've had a knee surgery. I've had a foot surgery. I know how it was when my foot didn't touch the ground for months, and you just learn to appreciate different things. And I just where I'm from Camden, New Jersey. I wake up every morning. I'm happy I can turn the lights on. I'm happy I got a garage door opener. I'm happy I got a car that works. It's just I'm happy I can. You just start your day off just being grateful and appreciate everything you got. And I think that's the recipe of just starting to have a good day. Now, is you gonna have a situation on the road? Is somebody gonna flip you off? Somebody gonna cut you off? That's a bad moment. You get into because somebody you get into a fender bender, somebody scratch your car. Bad moments don't result in bad days. And I think that something happened today, but it doesn't ruin the rest of my day because I had a lot of good things happen from when I woke up this morning.
And I think a lot of people don't see that perspective. And the best example of this is Tony Robbins has his exercise where he'll sit down with someone. So let's take you, for example, right now in your room, and he'll sit down with you and be like, all right, Caesar, tell me, how many black things are there in your room? Right. And like you might point out the poster on the back, there's some black in there, maybe a couple of your boxes in the background, your chair is black. And he's like, okay, how many red objects were in the room? And you're like, I don't know. I was only looking for the objects that were black. So that exercise kind of shows that like whatever you're looking for, like you will find. If you're looking for unhappiness, like you will find all the things that are wrong in your life, which, to the examples that you just gave, there are plenty of. Somebody cuts you off, whatever, your girlfriend breaks up with you or right. But you don't see all the good that's happening in your life. So a lot of times it's just like being open to seeing the good. And I think a lot of people struggle with that. But I love that exercise because like I'll do it by myself, like in my room sometimes, and be like, yeah, like I didn't notice any of the things that were blue in my room because I was looking for stuff that was red. So yeah, it's that mindset of positivity, especially when you're expected to perform under pressure. I think helps a ton as you've gone through.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Caesar, I wanted to bring up one thing that was a big moment in your life, and I hope you don't mind me bringing this up. At the age of 8, you lost your dad in the tragic accident. Just the effect that it had on your life, and how you rebounded from something like that at an age so young.
Yeah. So I was 8 years old, and a lot of times I talk about it, people think I don't like really remember much. I'm like, I mean, I was 8. I remember a lot. I remember stuff when I was 5. You know what I'm saying? So, um, just there's that moment in my life. It was I didn't play football. I didn't have anything to do with sports, but it was um it was obviously a big moment for me in my life because now I'm like, yo, I'm like, somebody you see see all the time, or the person who made you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dang, like my dad's gone, and it took me a while to get over that as a kid, and but I think as I got older, the the biggest thing I did was, how do you remember your dad? It was like, how do I remember my dad? And my grandmother tells me all the time, she's like, you're literally like just like your dad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the way you move your hands, the way you speak, like you're just like your dad. But the one thing that I remember the most from my dad when I was 8 were all good times. My dad was funny. My dad was I never saw my dad mad before, always happy, and I was like, I'm gonna be just like that. You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of like how I just picked everything up. Like, I'm gonna be just like that. And I think my father passing away at such a young age, I picked up things that I remembered and just have been carrying it with me forever.
Do, I was gonna ask, what's your why for playing football? Is your dad a part of that answer?
Uh, yeah, I have a few whys, right? So I wouldn't say I my dad passing was a part of the reason why I started playing football. Um, my whys are definitely, my little sisters, my little brothers, um, my mom, uh, just family, girlfriend, just your immediate family, the people that, matter the most to you. Those are my whys. The people that I know are gonna, they got my back regardless of what happens. Those are my whys for sure. And like my dad definitely, if if my dad was here, he would definitely be that immediate why for sure. My dad is a big part of the reason why I started playing football in the first place.
I have to imagine too that with your dad passing at a young age, that you and your mom probably grew a lot stronger, and that she was the rock in your life. Just what was your relationship like with your mom, and how much does that relationship mean to you?
Oh yeah, my mom's my dog. Like my mom, that's my dog. My mom is 15 years older than me. Me and my mom, our age gap is only 15 years. I had a bigger age gap my rookie year with Drew Brees. You know,
That's crazy.
so you know what I'm saying. I had a bigger age gap then with Drew Brees. So it just shows how like young my mom is. My mom just turned 40. My mom just turned 42 this year. 41. I just turned 42 this year. No, 41. Excuse me. My mom just turned 41, and my mom's young. Like my mom's super young. So we literally talk to each other like the relationship we built, and it's 100% a mother son relationship. But at the same time, I respect my mother, love my mother. My mom taught me manners. At the same time, my mom, like, she'll call me and say, "What's up, bro?" Like, she'll do stuff like that because we just have that kind of relationship. So my mom is literally my best friend. We've grown so close together. It's grown my whole life. Her raising me, my little brother. So me and my mom have a best friend. It's such a unique relationship. I actually was just telling a friend about this an hour ago about me and my mom's relationship. I'm like, I'm on the phone with my mom. People don't know I'm on the phone with my mom because of how close we are. Like just how we talk is like, call your mom bro. I'm like, yo, she calls me bro. Like she says bro. That's how we talk to each other. My mom, but my mom's awesome, man. It's just a great relationship.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think ethnically you are Dominican and Puerto Rican.
Yeah, Dominican, Puerto Rican, and black. Yes.
So is that from your parents or is that grandparents? Like,
Yeah, my dad is Dominican, Puerto Rican.
okay.
My mom is African American. My mom's from here.
Have you ever been back to the DR or Puerto Rico?
Oh yeah, yeah. I've been to DR. Great place.
Yeah,
It's
fun.
fire. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, DR is fun. I went back in October for a bachelor party. We had a good time. DR is a good
Yeah.
time for
DR,
sure.
DR is it's a beautiful country. It's a beautiful
Yeah,
country. I got to make it a point to go back frequently because it is
yeah,
it's beautiful.
yeah. Caesar, I wanted to get to kind of the evolution as you go from high school to Michigan to obviously the Saints now. You started at Camden High School, and then you went to the IMG Academy. And I read on, I think, a separate interview that you did that the IMG Academy is when you kind of opened up your eyes to what was possible and what was possible for you. For those who might not be familiar with what the IMG Academy is, if you could kind of just explain that aspect of it and then why it was so profound in your evolution.
Yeah, IMG Academy is a sports academy. Or is a sports academy. Bradenton, Florida. It wasn't as it was a beautiful place, back then, but it's even bigger now. But it's really I don't know how to explain it, but it's truly a young athlete's paradise. It's truly, you have everything you can think of at 14 years old. You had Gatorade Sports Science Center. You live on a beautiful campus. I tell people this. IMG Academy. You remember the show Zoe 101
Of
on
course.
Nickelodeon?
Of course.
It's literally Zoe 101, but sports. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's Zoe 101, but everybody plays a sport. And it was truly like it really was a great experience.
And why was it so profound for you? Like why was why was it so instrumental in your evolution?
Yeah, I didn't want to go at first. I
Mm.
didn't want to go. I don't want to go to this school. I'd leave from New Jersey and go to school in Florida, but it was the best decision I made. I to this day I tell people that's why I'm here. I'm obviously here because I did a lot of other things happen while I'm here, but that started it. That started it. I got a head start on everything. But I think IMG was just it was so important because it showed me what life looks like outside of where I'm from. It showed me, you know, hey, how to be on a schedule, how to be on a routine, how to take care of yourself, set your own alarm, wake up and walk to school, you know, work out, eat right. It put me in a routine at 15 years old and that I carried to this day. I'm about to be 26. So 10 years, I've been carrying this exact, not the exact same routine, but I've been very routine oriented my entire life, waking up at a certain time, doing certain things, and these are the things that set me up for the next level. Like when I got to Michigan, I enrolled early, but I had already been on this exact schedule that I was on at IMG. I was already waking up at, 7 in the morning to go eat breakfast at 8 and get to class at 9. I was doing that already. So, I just truly think that it really was just a jump start and a head start for me to be where I am, where I wanted to be at.
It's interesting you say that, man, because I had Josh Dobbs on the podcast, and he was talking about how at the University of Tennessee, like obviously he's famous for being the astronaut and wanting to go to space and work at NASA, but at the University of Tennessee, he was an aerospace engineer, and he had like a 4.0 GPA, and he talked about how like he had the routine every single day, like all right, from this time to this time, I'm doing homework, and then I got workout, and then I got film study, and then I have this, and it just seems to me that like for any athlete who has found any sort of success at the highest level, you need to have that routine. You need to be disciplined. Like there are common traits. Like obviously there are outliers. Like there's people who find success, not doing any of these things. But I'd say for the majority of NFL players, like they are disciplined. They are routine based. Like would you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. I don't think you can last long in NFL. I really don't think you can make it, pretty far without having some type of routine. Everybody has some type of routine. Even if you don't think you're in a routine, you have some type of routine, whether it's a good one or a bad one. Is it benefiting you or if it's not benefiting you? But I think the guys that you see like the Cam Jordans, the Demario Davis, the the Teron Armsteads, the guys that played that long, they all have a really good routine that works for them. And you just see it. There's no like surprise on like why these guys are like, look at how these guys they do this all the time. They recover like this, they do this, and it's a routine that works for them. man, I just look at all the guys that are successful in the NFL. I don't really think there's a guy that just kind of just wakes up and like, all right, let's go do this. Like, there's something you do, you know.
Yeah. It really speaks to the power of routine. I'm curious because I've also asked other NFL players, for like a week in the life of an NFL player, and they'll be like, yeah, every week is more or less the same during the season. It's like this day and every team does it differently, but it's like this day we do film study, this day we do workouts, this day we do walkthroughs. Do you ever feel like you have too much routine, like especially during like an NFL season?
Nah, because it keeps me balanced.
Mm.
It keeps me on track, keeps me on pace because it also keeps you disciplined because you can have a routine. To be disciplined to your routine is very important. Like, so I have, I will wake up. I let's wake up at 6:30 in the morning, get to the facility early, try to get my lift in before, and I wanted to make sure that I did that. I wanted to make sure that I did that, and it's what kept me on track for the day. And I could do my routine without a clock. I didn't need. I just did it without thinking about it because I had done it so much, and I know what works for me. And then, but you'll have things in your life that'll change your routine. Like, I went and got a puppy. I had to put him into my routine. So now I'm waking up, walking him in the morning, and figuring out what works, and how to get him, in my routine. So, um, but yeah, I think you're very right though about what you said. It's all the guys that are really good have something.
So from IMG, you go to University of Michigan.
Yep.
What was the routine like at the University of Michigan, and how do you think that school, that program, prepared you for your NFL career?
Yeah, I tell people I think this college schedule is harder than the NFL schedule for sure. You're going to school, and you're expected to do football is another class basically. Um, I think I really think that like being in college and being at Michigan, it really does. I mean, or any school really, but it takes a big I don't know what word I'm trying to say, but it takes a big requirement. It takes a big requirement from you to just be able to just even just be on a team or just perform. Because I'm waking up at it depends what time of the year it is, but if we're in the winter, waking up at 5 in the morning. You're 5 in the morning. Every other student is asleep though. Everybody else is asleep. Waking up at 5 in the morning. Michigan, it's cold. So we walk into the snow 5 in the morning down to the facility with our coats on, getting changed, go lift, workout, mat drills, whistles blowing in our you know, at 6 in the morning. And after that, you're showering, eating breakfast. You got about 30 minutes to do that, 30, 45 minutes to do that. Shower, eat breakfast, hurry up and get to class. And now you're in class for the rest of the day. And you're in class maybe till, I don't know, 2 o'clock. I ain't got study hall. And, you're constantly doing something a lot is required of you. And I don't think you can do, like I said, I don't think you can do those things without having a plan. Having a plan or anything that works for you. Because, man, I've seen it. I've seen people not have a plan and how it ended up. I've seen it not work for some people. But college, man, it requires a lot out of you, and that schedule that you get on is it's intense. I don't think everybody can do it, and people don't realize how serious it is until they have to do it.
Do you wish sometimes, and the reason I ask is because Sean Clifford brought up this point where, he would get death threats at Penn State after a bad game. And I feel like the relationship between, the college teams and college players and the fans is a little more intimate because it's college. And sometimes like you're walking to class and somebody can say something to you, especially if you have like a bad game. It's like, dude, Cesar, like, why were you, trash this past game? And that's like probably a nice way of of framing what they would actually say. But just do you ever feel like people didn't appreciate the amount of effort and the amount of hard work it takes to prepare for a game? I mean, you just laid out how difficult it is. And then people not knowing that, and maybe you have an off game and people are now screaming at you and saying that you suck and that you're the worst. Like, did that ever get to you? And did you ever wish that you could just like scream from the mountaintop? Like, you guys have no idea what it's like.
Yeah, at first, when you're in college, you get so when you're performing well, you get so used to being praised, right? Then something happens, something bad happens one time, and then now all of a sudden people are talking to you crazy or go on social media. People are saying how bad this guy sucks, and you see that, and like it'll affect you as a kid, right? As a young kid, 18, 19 years old, and that doesn't stop when you get to the NFL either. Quite frankly, I think in the NFL it gets worse. I think it gets worse in the NFL, but I think the big thing is to understand that fans are passionate about the game, right? But not all fans are going to be, you know, they're not. Then all and like fans will tell you this. All if not every fan is a good fan. When I say that, I don't think a good fan is somebody that's DMing you or messaging you saying they hope you die or they hope you get cut or they hope. I don't think that's a good fan. I think that's a good person. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of time what gets lost in the whole, people watching us play ball. I think a lot of time the things that get lost is people think like this is Madden or something. Like I'm not real. You know what I'm saying? People think like, oh, this is not a real. Like they don't. In that moment, they're like, yo, you're really talking to a real human being who lives a life like you, who has feelings like you. You know what I'm saying? Has emotion. You never know. Just because you see us on TV playing ball, you think, oh, we make money, or you never really know what a player's going through. You know what I'm saying? Because you can have like when I remember my first 2 years in the NFL, I had some rough seasons, and they made sure I knew that I wasn't playing well, and me telling myself that I gotta play better, and you got other people the way talking to you crazy, and it kind of just feels like it's you against everybody else. It's like, damn, it's me against everybody. Like, I got to prove everybody wrong. You cheat, I got to prove everybody wrong. And the way I got out of that, like the way I just blocked all that out was number one, I don't got Twitter. That was step one. Step one, I don't really use Twitter. Twitter's a crazy place. That was step one. But step two, man, I was like, yo, I'm not. I don't play this. I never played this game to prove everybody wrong. But one thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna prove myself right. And what was I trying to prove? That I belong here. That I am who I say I am. I am who I believe I could be. And that goes back to my point about talking positive. Once I just start to devalue negative opinions, once I start to devalue negativity and really just devalue what you know what somebody else is saying to me behind the phone, a lot of things have become clearer to you. Because I live like I'm another guy like this. I live like whatever this person is saying about me, whatever negative things people are saying about me, it's none of my business. It's really not my business. I don't care to see it. It doesn't really hold any value to me. At one point, it did affect me, but then at the end of the day, I'm the one that has to live this life. I'm the one that has to prove myself right. I'm the one who has to perform, and negativity doesn't really help that. So yeah, that's I learned to block that out. It's part of the reason why I started like in the beginning how it all came full circle to this conversation. How just speaking positivity and removing that negativity from your life because it can get harsh. Like there are, like I said, 99% of fans are, die hard. They love you. They love this team and they want to see this team win, right? And they want the best for every player. You got that 1%, maybe that 0.05. That's what you can see so many hateful things and you'll think everyone feels like that. There was times when I was a rookie or like my second year, I would go out to a restaurant, man, these people probably hate me. But they just embrace you the whole time. It's like, oh, wait, so you don't hate me. It's just a few knuckleheads on Twitter, a few knuckleheads on Instagram, you know what I'm saying, that were saying these things about me. But you just learn to block that out, man. You learn to block it out because I've learned that it comes with this business, it comes with this game, it comes with being a professional athlete, it came with being a college athlete. And everything's not always gonna be perfect. But you can't look for validation in those people that aren't going to give you positive, validation. You can't look for validation anywhere else within yourself and within your peers, the guys that you go to battle with every day. So that's where I find my like just my comfort at, and just who I want to talk to and who I want to hear good things from. Those guys I'm going to work with every day and I go out there with every Sunday, you know what I'm saying, to go, to go try to win football games. So those are the things I value. My coaches, my family, my teammates, and like I said, the guys that you go out there and play ball with. And obviously you want to make everybody happy, but you can't make everybody happy all the time.
feel like it's gotten so bad too recently, man, with sports betting. I mean,
Oh yeah.
fantasy's been around for a while, but recently it's really taken off in like the last 10 years or so, maybe like 15. But like fantasy and sports betting combined create this monster, which you just alluded to, which is we watch the game and it's like if you miss a block and Alvin Kamara rushes for 3 yards instead of like a 50-yard touchdown, I'm like, Caesar sucks. He's the worst. Like, get him off the team. And like, you forget that, to your point, like, you are a human being who is out there performing, who is this real person, not just this like Madden character with these attributes. And like, I've talked about it with like Drew Hanlon, who's a pretty famous like basketball skills trainer. And like in basketball, it's bad too because it's like oh, Joel Embiid needs 3 more rebounds for my $50 parlay to hit. Doesn't matter what he's going through. It doesn't matter that maybe something tragic just happened in his life and that's why he's not performing that well today. What matters is that he gets the 3 rebounds so that my parlay hits. And that's in part why I started this podcast, because I wanted to have real conversations with obviously athletes and show that, or at least remind people that these are real human beings with real feelings, real emotions, real journeys. And it's like, you don't know like what people are going through. Like you brought up Drew Brees real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I spoke to his trainer probably a couple episodes ago, and I'm forgetting exactly. Drew might have lost his grandmother. I think he lost someone in his family the year that they won the Saints won the Super Bowl. But like, that wasn't public information. Like nobody knew about that except for like obviously Drew's closest friends and family. So it's like stuff like that happens in someone's life, and then obviously they don't perform to their best. I mean, Drew was able to win a Super Bowl, which just speaks to how great he was. But again, like you would never know that as a fan, and so it's just a good reminder that like these are people. Just like somebody can wake up and have a bad day at work, like guess what? Someone can wake up and have a bad NFL game.
Seriously, and it's funny you say that because I've experienced that twice in my playing career. When I was young, my second year was rough for me, right? And I lost my grandmother the day before a game, and it was no, I lost my grandmother the day after the game. But I already knew my grandma had been battling cancer. We wouldn't know. We knew it was like it was getting close. She passed away the day, like the next morning after the game, and it was a COVID game. After we played the Dolphins and we had no we were no players. It was bad, right? And that game was so bad we ended up getting cooked bad, and I'm already the punching bag at that point. You know what I'm saying? My rookie year, so I'm like, all right, man, just 10, I suck again, yada yada, whatever. And then I'm dealing with so much. I'm like, gosh, I can't get on Instagram if I'm seeing somebody, say something bad about me. And at that point in my career, I was like, this is bothering me. And then next morning, it's like, grandmother dies. It's like, dog. But they don't care. Nobody cares about that. That's whatever. Like, you're supposed to, what I'm saying, just see you as a football player. And then I had 2 seasons ago, 2023. Last year was 2023 season. We played the Bears. And I had my great grandmother passed away that morning of the game. Right, we ended up winning that game, ended up playing a good game, but it just kind of alludes to what you said. You never really know, like, what these guys are like. Different guys are playing through, or what guys are going through. Because then, like you said, people forget, like, yo, these are humans. Like they experience the same thing you experience, except. Like I lost my grandmother Sunday morning, went out there and played. My great grandmother Sunday morning and played Sunday afternoon at 12 o'clock, and was like, I got to go do it because I know the guys in here are counting on me. So people miss that point. People miss that. They don't think about that. They never think about what a player is going through. And I know a bunch of people that have gone through so much and have played through it. And I think it's important that I think that's why it's so important that we just always hold their teammates and family. Like you hold your teammates so close because at the end of the day, that's really all that matters when it comes to the games, your family and your teammates.
I I think this is gonna tie into what you just said, but so you were first round pick, 24th overall, went to the Saints in 2020. You said you were surprised by the pick because I don't think you had talked to the Saints a whole ton before they picked you, and they already had a center, a good one
Mm.
at the time. Do you think that there was added pressure on you being a first round pick? Because I think I've talked to other NFL players who have been, and actually Quentin Lake is coming on the podcast here next, and he was a 6th round pick. And I feel like there's pressure on both sides. Like if you're a first round pick, it's like you're supposed to have all this talent, you have to perform well. If you're like a later round pick, if you don't perform well, your leash is a little bit shorter. They can, they probably cut you way before they'd cut a first or second round pick. Did you feel that added pressure being a first round pick, and then especially on days like you just mentioned where where you lose a close family member? Did that pressure ever magnify in your head at all?
So the thing with me was once I got to my first game, when I got drafted, nothing like that completely left my mind. Like in terms of pressure, I had the pressure of you have to perform. Like you're playing. Like you're not somebody that's battling for a spot. You are playing. Like and you didn't have OTAs. You didn't have a rookie mini camp. You got drafted in COVID. You've been at home, so you get into this team and and you just change your position. My pressure was like, I have to figure this out and perform. I said, I didn't think about where I was drafted one time. I was like, man, I gotta perform. That's who I am. So I gotta play ball. I have to perform. And that was really it. I think the pressure came because a lot was expected out of me from being a first round pick. And I put a lot of pressure on myself because like, hey, I hold forget the draft like I hold myself such a high standard, I have to go perform. And I think that's really what it was. When it comes to like pressure, I think it really was just the standard I held myself to, not so much of like I think the standard I was held to based on like naturally being a draft pick. So unknowingly it came with that. But the pressure I put on myself and the standard I held myself to was way higher than without anybody else did. I was trying to strive. My rookie year, I told myself like, I'm gonna my goal was to be crazy, make history. I just wanted to just be the best out there. So you hold yourself to that standard.
Would you consider yourself a perfectionist?
Yes, you try to strive for perfection, even though perfection isn't always attainable. And it's also what do you deem as perfect, right? So when I'm out there on the field, every pass block is not going to look the same. It's not going to feel the same. It can feel really close. But when I say perfect, perfection is, and I think that's the thing, right? I think that's why like when we say perfection, we mean like pure. No, we're talking like this is spot on every single time. That's difficult to do, right? But striving for that gets you closer to that. You know what I'm saying? I think telling yourself, hey, I want this to be perfect. Now, I don't want to say like, oh, it's okay if it's not. I do strive for everything to be perfect. Understanding that, like, hey, the more and more I strive for perfection, the more and more things will look like how I want them to look. It's like like golf. You can't master golf. I don't care who you are. You can't do it. Remember we were talking about golf before I got on. You can't master golf. But the more and more you strive for perfection, you get damn good at golf. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of that's how I look at it. The more and more I practice, be intentional with everything, the closer I get, and the more possibility and the more chances are higher that you will play close to perfect.
But how do you balance that with your expectations for yourself being too high? Because on the flip side, then you're in a way always disappointing yourself.
Mm-mm. No, I can't disappoint myself if I don't reach perfection. It's it's like so let's say I don't think I could disappoint myself. The way I look at it is okay. It wasn't perfect today, right? It never really is. It's football, right? It never really is. But where can I improve? Because like, hey, if you're striving for perfection and it wasn't perfect, where can you improve? And I think that's the best way to look at it. Because if you're kind of just going out there, just like, all right, I'm going to go play ball, you don't really care where you can improve. You're just going to go. I'm just going. But when you go out there, like, hey, I got to make sure I'm this, and that. And it's not like I have a list of things go through my head, but I just know, like, I got this, and that. This is how I want this to look good. Okay, you just happened on. You did this majority of the time. Where did it not happen? Why didn't it happen? And then you start to tweak things out, and you just start to just learn and just alter things or just figure out like, okay, this is how I'm gonna get this to work, and then you make those corrections, and then you move forward, and you go into the next thing. Hey, I want this to be perfect. Okay, it wasn't perfect every time. Where'd you go wrong? And you just keep fixing things. You keep fixing things until it's damn near perfect. It's hard. Perfection is hard in football.
You talked about intentionality. I'm assuming that part of that means going back to the film room and reviewing tape, and whether it's with a coach or yourself, and saying this is where I could do. Is that in essence what you do?
Yeah. Self scouting. Self scouting is important. And it's all about the work you put in. It's like you can't expect big results if you didn't put in the work. You can't expect nothing. Any of your goals or any of the things you're talking about achieving to happen if you're not putting in the work. And that means the film room. And the film is so important because it takes no physical energy. You sit there, you take notes, and you watch and you study. And you study yourself. You study other opponents. And I think the film room is a really important is really big on where players can improve a lot. I think that's where I improved a lot when I was self scouting myself and watching a lot of film, and then going out into the field and the corrections I wrote down from the film. I went out and was intentional with that in practice to say, "Hey, I'm going to fix this today."
Do you ever, I mean, do you ever look at other linemen in the league and study what they're doing, or try to steal some of their techniques?
Oh yeah, you. It's not so much. It's not so much a stealing. It's more so like you like to. I watch. I study a lot of guys in the NFL, and you watch, especially guys that are good that play well. It's like, hey, what's this guy doing? How? Okay, he kind of does this. This kind of works for him. Or how did he approach this guy? He's about to play this player. What was his plan? And you just watch those things because you want to watch a good player play well against another good player. And you're like, okay, let's see what he did here. How did he do this? And you like to study other guys because you can learn a lot. You learn a lot from everybody. I think almost everybody plays a little different. Everyone's made different. So you get to learn different things and, get to, have an idea of what different people's plans were.
Is there someone particular in the league that stands out to you, or someone that you've watched a ton?
Man, I watch a ton of guys. I watch a lot of guys in the league, man. I watched a ton of Zach Martin when I first was trying to, figure it out. I watched, guys that weren't even playing anymore. I watched a lot of Marshall Yonda. Um, who else we got? I watch Trey Smith. I watch a lot of Trey Smith. Um, Granted, he's also like my best friend too. So like we literally sit on the phone and talk about games and what our thought processes were too. So that's big. That's the advantage too when you have a connection with somebody. But man, I watch a ton of guys like some of the best guys that I feel like I can play similar to. I'm not gonna watch. Who's a guy? I can't play. I'm not gonna watch a big, 6'6", 6'7", 340 pound
Like Trent
guard.
Williams.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
Trent
not
Williams is a
watching.
tackle, but
Not
yeah,
watching Trent, but I'm
yeah,
also
yeah.
not watching I'm 6'3", 310 pounds, 315 pounds. I'm not watching the like I said, 6'6", 330 pound guy because he doesn't move like me. Doesn't have the same body type. His technique's different. He's a heavier guy. I'm gonna watch somebody that's closer to my body frame, like like a Chris Lindstrom,
Mm.
Falcons. I'll watch Chris Lindstrom because to me, similar body type. you know? And I was like, okay, how does he approach different things? I'll watch somebody that I feel like I can learn from. And I can also learn some from a guy that doesn't have the same body type as me. I said me and Trey Smith don't have the same body type, but mindsets, being able I can pick his brain to see where his thought process was on things.
I got one more question for you, and then I got a couple just like rapid fire to round us out, and then we'll close off the podcast. You mentioned, talking to Trey, about the game and about what was going on through your head. I've always been curious, especially for offensive linemen, because it is. I mean, every position in the NFL has its own, technical requirements. But offensive lineman is one of those where it's like it's really pronounced, in my opinion. I'm curious, like during a game, like what are you thinking about? Like, are you just out there playing freely and performing? Like, are you like intentional? We spoke about intentionality, before and after a game, but during a game, do you feel like you're intentional? Like what's happening in your head?
So I think the games are won during the week, right? Monday, Saturday. From when you prepare preparation, right? So if I'm preparing, you build muscle memory, you prepare. So I just want to. I work so hard and I'm so intentional during the week that on Sunday when I'm out there, I just tell myself whatever coaching point, not coaching point, but like, all right, this technique, like you know what to do when you have this kind of block, and you just go do it. And for the most part, I want to just be free. I want to just play free, and not that doesn't mean like not do technique. It just means like, hey, I know my technique so well, and I'm so confident, and I know it's like knowing I know what I'm supposed to do that I get to just play free, and the game slows down. The game slowed down a lot for me, like a ton. Like it slowed down a ton for me. Prior to my second season, it slowed. I was like, okay. Once I stopped, once I was more intentional in practice and kind of got a flow and got an idea what I was supposed to be doing, I mean, it slowed down a ton.
I'm assuming too, like during practice, and you don't have to tell us all your secrets, but I'm assuming you're looking at your opponent and being like, okay, I'm going to probably face this guy. Do I need to change my technique a bit, like to match, or how do you how does that work?
Yeah, it just depending on the guy I'm playing. I feel like the longer I play and the longer I talk to different guys, a lot of guys I train with. You get little tools. You start to build a tool bag. And like, all right, will this work on this guy? And in practice, you'll tell this practice squad, the guy in front of you, hey man, do this move. Like at some point today, mix this move up. Don't tell me when you're gonna do it. Just try this, and I want to I want to react. I want to build that natural reaction to it. And I think that's really how like that's how I work. Everybody. I don't play everybody different. Um, However, I have a set plan. Like I have a plan that like on how I block. If this guy does anything that's out of the ordinary, or if he plays a certain way, I'll pull a tool out the tool bag. I'll pull a tool out the tool bag and play around.
All right, we got some. These are like, I guess maybe more fun, just like rapid fire questions. I obviously want to ask you about Drew Brees because you came in. It was interesting because like you came in and then Drew retired, and then the Saints have had several quarterbacks. Winston, obviously Derek Carr, most recently. But you got to play with Drew for a year, and I couldn't help but asking you just what he was like on and off the field. We saw the magic that he had on the field, but just the type of person he was and behind the scenes, what kind of guy he was.
Man, Drew was a great. What is Drew is a great person, man. I mean, especially when you're young coming to the league, like, oh man, Drew Brees is about to be my quarterback. Man, the way Drew welcomed me when I came in as a rookie and kind of helped me, along the way. Just, didn't hold my hand, but like, it watching Drew work, it allowed me to, just pick it up faster. I knew what trying to be perfect looked like. I watched him work. I watched him study. I knew what striving for perfection was. I thought Drew was so amazing. I'm like, yo, this dude, like the way he works is like he can. Drew, I used to tell people this. I say it all the time. I think Drew Brees, like, if he couldn't, like, I feel like he could play a quarter if he needed to with a blindfold. or like it's like he just knew where everybody was at all times, and it's just so much studying. So and like even outside that though, like outside of football, man, like Drew's just to this day. Every time I see Drew, it's just a great guy, man. And then I'm just very blessed and fortunate that I got to play with Drew, man. He's just a great, obviously an amazing, legendary quarterback, but just even better person, man. Drew was awesome.
Do you have, you don't have to answer this if you don't want, but did you feel like extra motivation because you were blocking for the Drew Brees?
You kind of forget. You forget, like it's like, all right, Drew Brees is my quarterback, but you're not constantly saying Drew Brees, Drew Brees, Drew Brees. It's kind of like, hey, this is my quarterback, so I gotta, this is my. It was like, it was cool though. It was cool, like, hey, this is like, it is Drew Brees. Like at first, my first game, I was like, oh, this is crazy, Drew Brees in the huddle. It was one play though. It actually didn't even last the whole play. He came in the huddle. I was like, yo, this is happening. This is Drew Brees calling the play. My first play, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I get to the line of scrimmage immediately, snapped out of it. I was like, all right, let's play ball. You just play ball. So it's definitely awesome, man. It's like, man, I can go all day about it, bro. Like I tell you, Drew Brees is awesome.
Me and my friends, if they're listening to this, they're gonna laugh because we always used to make fun of his like snap cadence, the blue what he was like blue 80, yellow 80, whatever, and it's just like I don't know why it was always like so funny to us, and we like try to imitate him. It was like, yeah, Drew was different. Yeah, definitely crazy. I mean, he had the passing record for a while there until Tom Brady passed him back up. But moving on to another quarterback you had, which we've seen his personality, but Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
I've heard that for all of like the funny stuff that he does, and there's clips of him online. I've heard that he's actually just a fantastic leader. Like he is a leader of men.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Jameis, that's another. I'm just fortunate and blessed enough to been around so many just great people, like great teammates and great people. Me and Jameis had a locker next to each other for 3 years. The 3 years? Yeah, me and Jameis's locker was no 4 years because this is the first. Me and Jameis locker next to each other for 4 straight years. If anybody got close with Jameis, it was me. Man, amazing person, amazing, like just amazing, man. Like I remember when I had my foot surgery, Jameis walked down the street and helped me put my air mattress together and helped me put, what I'm saying, just helping me out. I mean, he's a great leader, great human, another great person as well, and he's truly an amazing person to be around. Like and light up any room he's in.
Any stories stick out to you from your friendship with Jameis? You're like, where do I start?
Yeah, every time somebody asks me this, I don't know where to start because, man, me and Jameis got so many stories, man, so many funny stories. It's tough to pick one. We also got stories that no one would think is funny but us. So I mean, I do have a ton of. I have a ton. I have a just ton, like every day was something with Jameis. But man, I can't I can't think of one right now. But it wasn't so much the things he said; it was the things he did.
Yeah,
it was just it's funny. Like I'm thinking about him, like a few things right now. It's just things he did. Like it's kind of hard to explain unless you were on a team.
Yeah,
he's funny, man.
Yeah. I always love Jameis because I'm a huge FSU fan, and obviously what he did for FSU. And speaking, we were talking about fantasy earlier. I had him on a couple of my fantasy teams, even back when he was on Tampa Bay, and even with the Saints. Like it was always like Jameis Winston to me personally is like the most fun quarterback to watch of all time because with Jameis, you never knew what you were gonna get, and I think that's a good and a bad thing. Like,
yeah.
He could go out and throw for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. He could just as easily throw 5 picks in the game. But I'll forever love Jameis and the stuff that he was able to accomplish. Again, at FSU and also in the NFL. Toughest D lineman you've gone up against?
I played a few, but I played a good amount of them. I say Aaron Donald, Dominican Sue, when I was young, Akeem Hicks was really, really, really good when I was young. Off the top of my head, I played against a lot of really good guys. A lot of really good guys in the NFL. So I think so far in my career, though, I think those are those are guys off the top of my head. Like I'm like, yeah, these, especially because I played them when I was younger too. I was like, yeah, these are the guys that they're really good. That I thought was like some of the best I played against for sure.
Dude, I'm a 49ers fan, so obviously very familiar with Aaron Donald and his game. Like, I have never seen someone be as disruptive as AD was on the D line. Like, I remember we used to put 2 or 3 guys on him almost every play, and sometimes it just like didn't even matter. Like, he would just find a way through. Just from playing against him, like, what makes him so difficult, or what made him so
Um,
difficult?
I think he wasn't like anybody else that you played against. You know, you played against strong guys. But AD was strong, like super strong and super quick. You know, so and he kind of just knew the game well. Like he knew leverage. Like it was, man, he was really good. Like you could tell this guy, like, hey, bro, he's tough. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when I first played Aaron Donald, I was like, hey, he's tough, bro. It's, as advertised, he's really good. Like,
Last question, man. And this is I've always been curious about this. You obviously play in New Orleans, who was famous for their loud crowds and loud stadiums. When you're on the O line, how much does crowd noise really affect you guys? Just mentally, communication. Just do you even pay attention to it? Like, what impact does it have?
might affect us more than anybody on the field. We talk the most. You know, all five of us have to be on the same page. You know, somebody's in charge of letting the center know when it's time to snap the ball. Center has to make sure we all can reiterate all the calls. You know, we play in loud environments. The communication it's tough on O linemen. Like it's tough because you know you get so used to verbal. It's like, oh, I can hear the snap count. Now it's like, yo, I'm looking for a cue. I'm looking for something to let me go. Or like, so I think it definitely affects us a lot on offensive line for sure.
Loudest stadium you've ever played
In my life, like
in your life? Yep.
oh, Penn State. So I know there's a popular clip. Everybody keeps pulling it up. It's Penn State versus Michigan,
Yep.
and it was their whiteout. That was the loudest game of my life, and I was the center. And I was the center in that clip, and we didn't snap the ball because we were just all over the place. Like it was like miscommunication. Um, but it was the loudest. It was crazy. You couldn't even hear yourself think. The floor was shaking. This is crazy. This is the loudest stadium I ever played in my life. The floor was shaking. Um, yeah, it was. That was the loudest stadium I ever played in my life.
Yeah, that clip. I think they were playing like Mo Bamba right before that, and
Yeah,
then yeah, that
viral
was
one.
wild. Yeah,
Yeah, I was like, yeah, it looks cool on the phone. I just imagine being there and trying to listen for a snap count and trying to play ball. It was loud.
yeah,
So
nah, for sure. Caesar, dude, you've given us way more time. I'm so grateful for your time today and for your insight. It was great getting to know you, and hopefully the audience got to know you a little bit better, especially the Saints faithful. I think you guys have a lot to look forward to this year. You got a young quarterback coming in. Um, don't make too much noise because you're in the same conference as my Niners. But I do have to ask you one last question, and that is just for people who haven't gone through what you've gone through. What do you think is the price of success in the NFL?
um price of success. Man, that's a good question because you know success comes with a lot. You know, I said to who much is given, much is required. So I think the price of success is truly a lot of sacrifices. You know, you may sacrifice, you know, family time. You may have to sacrifice, you know, personal time. You may have to sacrifice friend time, or you know, some things will be sacrificed. I think another thing is, um, you know, big price of being successful here is um, people expect a lot of you, depending on where you're from or who you know, but people expect a lot of you off the field. You know, even in public or family and friends, you know, the expectation for you is God is world. You know, people will form opinions on you based on you just being in the NFL, not like your personality, just based on what you can do. Um, I think the price is just in a way kind of be misunderstood in society, and not like in such a negative way. You know what I'm saying? But like we're kind of we're misunderstood. I think the way people look at us all the time is not really how it is. People will assume you're a certain way and you're not. So just be ready to just talk to people so they can understand. I think that's a big thing too when I meet people in public or they talk to me sometimes. Like people say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know who you are." I don't care. I'm like you. I just play football. Let's be ready. I think the price is just be ready to people hold you to a higher, you know. And in reality, you just want to be I'm just a normal guy. So
Is there something that you wish more people understood about you?
I think just me in general, just football players.
Just you and you specifically.
Um, not honestly, not really, because I just think that the I feel like I don't know what people's opinions are, of me. Really, I've never been like I'm not a bad guy, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I just want people to know that, like outside of football, I'm really just want to be a normal guy, you know. Like when I say that, I say like, hey, like I want to go out and just interact with people and just talk to random people and just go golf and meet people and just just be cool, So yeah, I think it's just people understand about me that I'm a chill guy, man. Like
You're just a
I'm just
chill
I'm,
guy.
I'm just a chill guy, man. I like to chill and just just make people smile, man.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. Caesar, dude, I can't thank you again enough for your time today, man. It's been an honor. This was a fun conversation. But before we leave, where can people find you and just more of your work?
Oh, so Instagram, you can find me at Cesar Ruiz. That's CEESRUIZ. And you can try to find me on Twitter. Good luck. Don't use that app. Or what they call it X now. I don't use that app. So good luck. But if you want to find me, I'm on Instagram. Send me funny reels. Watch some funny reels. And yeah, that's where you can find me at.
Funny reels and maybe a couple golf tips.
Golf. Golf videos. Ready for them.
Love it. Dude, thanks again for your time. Best of luck this upcoming year. And hopefully we'll stay in touch.
Sir, appreciate it.